Hello, everybody. Let's get this up here. Welcome to our live film reviews here at Wedding Film School. Thank you guys so much for being here. There is
the block box on my face. I couldn't grab it. I was like grabbing it. I couldn't move it.
I love it. Yeah, so anyway, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for being here. We've got myself and Jay here reviewing your guys' wedding films that you have submitted to us, and a really interesting, or maybe a special show a little bit, because we've got a few, like, you know, some little unique things that we're doing, which I love. We're going to start out, as we always do, though, with a little bit of quick banter, and then get into the film reviews. And a reminder, if you have not joined us here for these live reviews before, the way we do this, you guys can submit films to us. We do this every single week on Thursdays at 1 p.m. Eastern. We hop on, we're going to review your films. We're going to do a couple specific things for the review. One, we're only going to watch about 5 minutes of it. You are welcome to submit something longer than that, but we'll only do 5 minutes.
Unless we have a reason. But
unless we have a reason, which sometimes we do. And then we're going to each share our thoughts, whether it's just me and Jay or just one of us, or maybe Jared's here and there's all three of us. We're going to talk about things that we liked, because we do think that, you know, giving positive feedback is important too. We're going to let you know, like, hey, here's some things that we really think you excelled in. And then we're going to let you know things, maybe not that we didn't like, but just things that we think you can improve upon. But most importantly, these are the things that are like the most pressing, like one or two things only, right? And say, for your next edit, for your next shoot, whatever, these are the things where you're going to see the biggest impact. So that's what we always try to do. And the great thing about that is we have people submit across all levels of their career. We've had people submit their very first wedding films to us, and we have people submitting who have been in the industry, 10, 12, maybe even 15 years. There is feedback. We can always all be learning. And one of the great things about this community is that it is a community. So we love hearing you guys in the comments, also letting us know what you think. Where do you think, they did really well? Where do you think these people maybe could, change something here or there? What are you seeing as well?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the goal is, like, not only are we having a little, hopefully it's entertaining, but we're all learning. We're all getting better. We're being influenced. We're being encouraged, all that stuff.
And we have after the first video, we've got a unique addition.
Yeah.
So make sure you're here.
Bobby's video this week inspired me a little bit to do something. So if you haven't checked out the last post about kind of a quick way, I believe it's Final Cut exclusive, right, Bobby?
I've only ever used it in Final Cut.
Yeah, but basically a quick way to make vertical reels from content kind of you already have and not overthinking
like 5 minutes quick.
Yeah. So, but it made me think about something. So if you're interested in how do you take all this content that we're shooting, like, cinematically, and make it useful on social media in that terrible new Reels format, maybe I have a little inspiration for you. Yeah, it's bad, but, we got to do what we got to do. So
hey, heads up, Jay, we are seeing a couple people saying low-ish audio.
Oh, I can crank it up.
That's worth.
I can crank it up.
And today we are drinking Kirkland's own Italian sparkling mineral water, and Bobby's own gigantic water bottle, because I'm sure I will.
Bobby's signature gigantic water bottle. Always there.
Gotta stay hydrated.
Hey guys, is this better audio?
Yes, people are saying better.
Thank you.
What's up, everybody? Hello, Alex. I think we're reviewing one of your films today.
Yeah.
I think you got selected again. Kyle, I think we're reviewing one of yours. What's up, Sky? Good to see you. Buddy, good to see you. Thanks for letting us know about the audio. Manifester, from Tanzania. I've been to Tanzania. Wonderful place.
If you're out there
Bryson,
and you're watching, share this with somebody and let them know that we're live. So, Bobby, who's our first film?
Oh, great question.
Well,
our first film is coming from Mike Zoo at Mike Zoo Films. And let's see, Sony A7S III. Jay, I feel like this is just becoming the standard. Like, I know it's like if you're Canon, you're maybe R5, R6, but like I've seen so many A7S III films lately, which I love. We don't have too much info. Standard 9-hour day, one location, A7S III, and 4-minute film and a doc edit. That's what we got.
And just so you guys know, one issue today, I had a little bit of a glitch on the ATEM, so we're going to be watching all these films full screen. So that's not a big deal, but just as a heads up, we will not have the picture-in-picture the way we
You won't see our beautiful faces.
the way we normally do. So, without further ado, let's watch a film, huh?
Julie, when I moved to Chicago for business school, I didn't know exactly what to expect. But I never thought I'd end up meeting the love of my life. I can still remember walking into the game room and being drawn in immediately by your laugh and your smile. Over the course of our ensuing trip, we got to know one another better, and as I found out how smart and funny you are, I became more and more interested.
Jamie, I'm so lucky to be standing here with you today, in front of our family and friends. You're the most kind, supportive, thoughtful person, and I love you. The jury is still out on why you developed an interest in me. Was it love at first sight, or were you just excited to meet a girl with a first name that started with the letter J to fit nicely into the Paldino family theme?
We walk this road, it takes us home where love is true. We walk this road because we know it makes us new.
During the next couple of months, our relationship evolved from friendship into dating. Since then, I have come to love so much more about you than just a smile and laugh that took my breath away day one.
Either way, over the next few months, I became intrigued. Before we knew it, though, we were out in the world as Booth's newest, hottest couple, and I can say the last 4 years have been truly amazing. I promise to love you through thick and thin, and I promise to always be the best wife and partner I can be. I'm so excited for the next chapter. Here's the next adventure.
When it's you and I'm always home. When you're by my side, I'm always home. When it's you and I'm always home.
I promise to love you and be there for you every day for the rest of our lives. I'm so excited for all of our future adventures and the life we will build together.
Okay, Bob, you're going to try something. Oh, it didn't work.
Alright. Oh, we tried, we failed.
We tried, we failed. All right.
Well,
So,
while you do
Bobby.
that- oh, you're good. Okay. Yeah.
What
You want
were
me to
your
go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. And I'll try to play the video as we're talking, so you won't see our beautiful faces much, because I feel like it's important. But my initial thoughts were, first of all, that it's very professional video, and there's a lot to like. I particularly enjoyed. This is one of those things about wedding filmmaking. Is like I could say, oh, I love the way you backlit those people, during the ceremony. He didn't backlight them.
Yeah.
But I will say is he or she identified what was good about the frame. Everything from how to frame the people to how to expose like a lot of people I've seen, they take a beautifully backlit subject and then they blow out the backlight. And it doesn't look that nice. People, I think it looks normal to have that level a little lower on the front side, and it doesn't bother you. And it literally highlights the beauty of like that halo light. And I felt like in a lot of those situations, he was taking a lot of this light and maximizing it. I felt like he did a good job fitting a lot of dialogue in there. Maybe that's also one of my criticisms too, is like a lot of it felt kind of inane to me. And I don't know, I get it. It's wedding filmmaking. So it's like, it's not always up to you, the kind of content you get. But I do think he did a good job. I think the couple would probably really appreciate how much he was able to fit of their personalities and their story in the film. And of course, a lot of good cinematography. I think that's a professional wedding film.
Yeah, I always love when we get a film like this. I love seeing films where there's a lot, and I'm not saying this what this one is, but like I love kind of all variations. Like I love when there's a film that needs a lot of work and we can offer a lot of help. I love when we have these really cool, unique, creative edits that we sometimes get, and it's like, whoa, this is just inspiring, whatever. But I love this type of film that's like, it's neither of those things. It's just a very solid film. Like this is a film that you can build a great company around and be very successful, assuming, you can replicate this over and over. And I think sometimes that's lost on people, like the importance of
100%.
Like where it's just like, look, yeah, okay, you want to be creatively fulfilled. And I say that stuff too. Like I want to make these films that I feel really creative and fulfill me creatively and inspire me and whatever. But like, there's something to be said for just like getting into a day, rolling with the punches of a wedding day and making a solid, consistent film. And this is 100% that. I think the storytelling, I'm kind of with you. Maybe like the talking dragged on a little bit, but like it's well laid out. You're using a variety of audio. Your shots line up with some of what's being said. Like it's very well thought out. I also think that you had a good use of light. We saw some of those groom prep shots that just went by. I thought those were interesting. You had the flat lay shot. There was nice light on that. So yeah, and exactly. Using the ceremony, the backlight there. I mean, granted, it just is what it is, and it just kind of happened to look nice, but you framed it well, and
looks great.
So yeah, I think overall,
even I did like using that aisle for foreground, and there's a lot of nice stuff.
Yeah, I think again, just like an overall solid film. Make this 10 times out of 10, and this is it. Yeah,
you're gonna make a living.
The couple loved it, and you can totally make a living doing this.
Yeah. So Bobby, what about stuff maybe you just didn't totally love? What about stuff you just were...
So a couple things, and I think one of the things with this film is a lot of what I'm going to say is maybe it's definitely smaller things, and it's also, for me at least, and it's also definitely opinion, right? So one thing for me, or a couple things. One, I didn't really like the use of black and white in this film.
Yeah, I don't think I was into it either.
I don't think it looked bad. I think that it didn't serve a purpose, really. Like, to me, the black and white stuff felt random, and it didn't feel like... obviously it was intentional, right? You went in there and you made it black and white, but, like, I was like, why is this shot black and white?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I was at on that. A couple other things. So kind of in a similar line... I didn't think it wasn't like a ton of shots where I was like, oh, the color's terrible, the skin tones are all over. Like we've had that before, and I'm sure the skin tones were here and there, like hit or miss, but it wasn't like a super apparent thing to me. But like just the color grade in general just there was something missing for me.
It felt like a little inconsistent. I'm curious. Like how the process there, because I felt from shot to shot, setting to setting, like there was these frames that were like these really, really incredible looking frames. Yeah. And then you would get to like this stuff right here, the grass is kind of like a different color and kind of blown out.
And
this right here, like your greens are shifting. There's a lot of that throughout the film.
And I'm not like the color expert. You're way more of that, Jay, and so maybe you'll speak more to that too. But like, I always see this as one of those things that like having an overall grade, whether that's a LUT or a LUT that you base some other stuff on, or just some things that you generally do, like I always drop the saturation of my greens, or I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
I think that helps with the consistency because you are in very different, like those shots. This is greenery out in a field, and then you have those like on a, what looks like, down like DC or something, right? Like building downtown, like very, very different feels.
A lot of different light too.
Yeah, a lot of different light. And so I think having that kind of grade over everything can kind of even out. Like there's going to be
this stuff right here
differences.
is
They're not gonna
particularly
look the same.
what bothered me is all these blacks are lifted, and that shows like an underexposed or camera, and then none of the blacks were lifted that way throughout the rest of the film.
Yeah. And then the only other thing, and this is a small thing, I felt like there were a couple points where you almost felt it was almost like you wanted to be handheld, but I don't think you were. I think you were like you were like acting handheld, but like on a monopod maybe or something. And it was a lot of the left and right movements. And they weren't extreme or anything like that. But I would say kind of either lean into handheld and allow all of the, little bit of handheld raw camera movement feeling, or lean out of handheld and don't try to do that like left right readjusting. And maybe I'm wrong on that, but that's what it felt
I don't
like.
know.
There's a couple things.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that you're straight up wrong. No.
Yeah.
So I have.
But what about you?
Everything you said, definitely. I have one major. This is a criticism of, I think, how the film is positioned and how it would help you get into that. First of all, just the shooting thing. I don't really like the way he shoots a dance floor. I think you're exposing that it's empty. I don't think you should expose the dance floor as empty. I think you need to get in there, either shoot on a tighter lens with more compression, but like you're kind of like aloof. I really don't like that super high when people shoot really high over a dance floor. That's not my favorite look. I like the feeling of being in the dance floor. Like I'm getting like this, pushing people out of my way.
I'm getting run into.
Yes.
I'm getting my camera screen on my A7S III. I'm putting it in danger mode.
Yes, I basically have like 3 sequences I'm trying to get in a dance floor, like a couple gimbal whooshes, and then maybe some high safe stuff where I'm like gonna make sure I see people's faces that are totally in focus, and then I'm gonna just go ham and just get in that dance floor for like 20 minutes and just bang around with people and get some dynamic stuff. That's not everyone's style, so that could just be a style thing. The thing I think that is your style, when I look at this film, I'm like, oh, I know this client. Like, I know these people. I shoot these people every weekend. This person probably had a wedding planner. And I don't think a wedding planner would watch this film and be like, oh, my work was well featured. And I don't think the client would. Like, I'm looking at that tent, and I didn't see a single, like, push-in of the tent. I didn't see a single beautiful gimbal shot of the tables. I didn't see the napkins. I didn't see the florals. I didn't see any of that stuff. It was just all shots of them standing and talking and standing and talking and standing and talking. And I think that's maybe why I felt, I was thinking as you were talking, like, why did I feel like a little cold? And I was like, I wanted that like high-end lift. And this is what I'll say, this type of wedding film does really well in that market. And if you can find a way, because the people who are making this kind of money or these types of personalities, they're not necessarily wanting to like go hike in Iceland with you. They have high-end events with lots of florals, and they want those florals to be prominently featured. They want that tent to be featured. They're proud of that. Like, and the planner is also proud of that. So I would say my biggest criticism and the thing that will help your business a lot is if you can really find a way to make a planter or a planner want to share your video. And I think if you had that push in, if you make time, I'm always going to the planner like, when is the room clear? I want to get that wide shot for you. And I'm going to give you guys an example of that in the next little sequence we're going to do. But I look at that film and I go, like this film, watch our next thing. And I will show you what I expect or what I think would make this film better. Is really a much more focus on up. And it's, if you want to be all filmmaky and non like capitalist about it, it's a sense of place. Like give them a sense of where they are. Look at those floor. Like I'm looking at that chandelier and I'm like, I would get under that chandelier and I would do a vortex. I'm shooting the crap out of that room.
Yeah. And the nice thing is those types of additions, Jay, I think fit really well in a film like this. They just aren't there.
Yeah, they don't feel
But it wouldn't feel like, for you to do that at your next wedding, it would not feel out of place for you, Mike. I don't think at all.
No. Great film, though. I don't want to criticize it. I'm saying, like,
yeah.
You can add like $1,500, $2,000 to your prices if you can be the person that planners think reflect their work well. Because they'll just sell you. I had a planner send me $60K of contracts in one day.
Good day.
Good day.
On that note, I think that's a great transition into what we're going to do. And while you cue that up, Jay, I'm going to hit a couple comments, and I'm going to let people know two things. One, hit us with a like if you could. Hit that thumbs up button. We would appreciate it. That lets YouTube and everybody else know that we are doing a good job, which I appreciate. And two, if you want your films to be reviewed, I have pasted the link up at the top of the chat. Click that link, submit your film. We do this every week, Thursdays at 1 p.m. And we love, no matter where you are in your wedding filmmaking journey, we want to help you grow and get better. And on that note, if you want kind of priority in getting your films reviewed, consider becoming a member. You can click the little join button, which is right next to subscribe, which you should already be subscribed. And hit that join button. It starts at just $5 a month, and you get priority in getting your films reviewed. So we get lots of submissions every week. If you want kind of more of a guarantee, I guess you'd say, of getting your stuff reviewed, yeah, you can become a member.
We almost always get to the members.
Yeah, I mean, we have members who submit every week, and I think they understand, like, we're not going to review the same person every single week. But yeah, we are always doing a good job, and in our opinion, at least, you know.
I do a great job.
We do such a good job. Okay, so Manifester brand, live streaming a reception. YouTube's closing it down due to the songs. I don't really know. Stream to a different platform? I'm not sure what the answer is there.
That doesn't seem correct, by the way.
I've never actually had that happen. Not that I've streamed,
YouTube's
like,
closing
tons
it
and
down, or
tons.
they shut your down? Do you mean that
Yeah.
YouTube is no longer, like, I would say don't live stream receptions. Tell them I'm not doing that, and I'll kill myself.
Yeah, I
before
actually
do that.
don't really want to do that.
I would,
I actually just got asked about
There's
doing
no
that.
amount of money you could pay me to do that. So
Yeah, that sounds like a nightmare. If they had booked it, I was just gonna outsource
ceremony.
It to somebody else.
What I will say is this: then you have to plan, which means you need a feed where you're
Yep.
not getting the DJ's feed, where you're
Actually,
putting just a little microphone on the microphone where they're talking, and then you have your own music that you have licenses for that you're playing in between things. Like, it's doable.
and on that note, you can watch a great film, a great behind the scenes that we have on this channel. Go look for BTS or something, and there's one about live streaming.
Yes.
Color was tough throughout the day. Had to color correct each clip accordingly. Yeah, I mean, I think we kind of touched on that, Mike. But
What I would
hope
tell
this
you,
is
Mike,
helpful for you.
when you're dealing with situations like that, what's really important is to first of all do a base coverage, a base treatment on
level it
all
out.
your stuff, and get your greens, your blacks, your whites, your magentas in the same place, and then put your look on.
Yeah.
So like you want it all to be kind of normalized before you put a look on.
Emmanuel, what's up? From Dominican Republic. Thank you. Tian Reels. Hey, Bobby came by to say hi. What's up? Good to see
What's
you. I
up?
hope
Good
you
to see you
stick
again,
around.
bud. Submit a film soon.
Yeah, we need it. What I found, actually, Alex, I'm going to get to your comments in a second, but I'm going to go back up because this is the great transition comment from Kyle Smith saying, then you just make a 30-second reel of just the design for the planner, and they're going to love you. So with that said, Jay, what are we talking about in this special little segment?
So you made a video earlier in the week that kind of got me brain going, and
I
it was
did.
talking about just creating vertical reels and it was mostly, I think the idea is, here's some content you already have, make some
Yeah,
reels
I
of
think
it.
the idea was, for me, social media is an ever-changing landscape. I hate it. I'm bad at posting it, on it, whatever. I have literally posted like one wedding from last year because I just forget, or I'm like, well, I remember
it's
now,
not
but
good
it's not the
enough.
best time.
Yeah,
I need to, I don't know. I got to get over that stuff. I got to get out of my own way. But with that said, one of the things is now there's like, this change where all videos are reels for the most part. And it's this whole thing. And vertical content is just far and away more well received, both from the algorithm and people watching your stuff who are, letting people know I prefer vertical or horizontal, assuming they're not wedding filmmakers. And, we need to get on board that train. And so one of the things that I can get hung up on not only is posting it, but of course, making the content. And I know a lot of people are with me on that. where it's like, I don't want to cut this for vertical. I want to move on to the next wedding. And I'm just being a crotchety old man about it. But we got to do it. And there's a very easy way to do it in Final Cut. It literally takes like I could take 15 seconds of a wedding film of a timeline and make a vertical cut in less than 5 minutes that I could post. And so
point being, you should do it, and it's not that hard. And so it got me thinking about how we've been doing stuff this year. And if you don't know, my business is we basically do high-end wedding films. Like we don't do, people when I tell people how many wedding films we do, I think they're thinking we do like $1,500 wedding films, and it's not that. We're probably in the $5,000 to $7,000 range for most of our films. And the reason why we're able to do so many is because we have a certain model that really prioritizes connecting with the types of couples and the types of vendors we want to work with. And we know what they like, and we know how to present it in a way that will make them feel heard and listened to. And so reels, teasers, those are really important to us. And so I wanted to show you guys some of the teasers we make. And then I want to show you how we repurpose them into reels for the couples. But then I wanted to show you a teaser we make, and then how we repurpose it for a planner to make a planner reel. Because I think this is our thinking. This is why we've been successful. If I'm giving away a big secret right now, Bobby.
Big secret.
Maybe not a big secret, but definitely at least something that's been important for us. And I think it's something that many people don't do. So, and it's not that hard. So I'm going to play the film, and then I'm going to talk over the reel, but I'm going to play the film just full screen. This is a teaser we just did, I think June or May, Newport wedding. This is a type of client we get. We get a lot of these types of clients. Beautiful, beautiful location, Castle Hill, all this stuff. Here we go.
Michael, you may kiss your bride.
So that's
all right. So Jay, tell me one thing you loved and one thing. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, there's things I liked and things I didn't like about that film.
No.
For
so,
sure.
Yeah, I want to hear about kind of this process, because you were telling me about it earlier, and I didn't know you guys did this, and I've thought about doing stuff like this and just never really implemented it. But it sounds like you guys have a system.
Yeah,
I love hearing that.
So this right here is just the exact same film, but as a vertical video. And so I'm going to play them over each other just because I think it's helpful. Like, so here, first of all, you're going to notice we practice what we preach. There's a lot of content in here that is planner fodder, and couples like it too. But like, we made sure to show all the florals, all the rooms, the tables, everything. One thing we didn't do is put lots of, and I feel like a lot of wedding filmmakers really emphasize lots of dialogue from the day. We don't do any of that.
In a highlight or in a teaser? Even
in everything that they do. Like they spend all this time. We don't do that. We go beauty, 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 pretty, pretty, pretty. And we just show as much pretty stuff as we possibly can. And because we're thinking, like, these couples know who they are. Yeah. They know what was said. Like, the film, we're going to include all that stuff. But in a teaser, this teaser is all about, like, giving them something to share.
I didn't do audio or, like audio from the day in a teaser for like 2 years. And then if I do now, like kind of like what you did, it's one line.
Every so often we'll do more if it's easy. But the point is, it needs to be easy to produce.
Well, the other thing is, because we're going to talk about this. I know you're going to get into this, but like part of this is doing this stuff quickly.
Yes.
Right? And so,
yeah. And so that's kind of how they recompose. So if you're wondering, like, will my films be destroyed if I recompose them? Like,
I mean,
you're going to notice, like,
I prefer it one way, but
do I really need that that table over there and that random guy standing there and not looking at the camera? Like, do I really need that? Like I'm kind of showing people. I will say we kind of shoot with that in mind, You know, that
I think when they start to, if they take their wedding film timeline and or their teaser, like you did on the left here, right? And then they make it vertical in Final Cut and they follow my instructions on the video I made, then they're going to find, even if they aren't shooting for that, a lot of their content, a lot of their shots still work in a vertical format. I understand it's not how you intended and it's missing some things, but it still works and it gets the job done. And ultimately it's good for your business.
Clearly on the left, seeing that sunset and that water is better, but I don't think it kills the filament. So that's the first thing I wanted to show you. The next thing is a teaser we made where we're kind of just, this is a teaser for the client, which we deliver our teasers in 2 weeks. So we need to get them that teaser. So it's a teaser for the client. And then another piece of content we made within 2 weeks for the planner, different content. And so I'm going to show you this next teaser as well so you can see it. And then
while you get that queued up, Jay, I'm going to respond to Kyle here. He's saying, does AI know where to frame the vertical? And yes, they do.
Kind of. You do need to recompose sometimes.
You always check. And it's also personal preference. Like I really like, actually, if you guys watch that video that I posted, I briefly talked about this. I don't know what AI is like basing it off of, but they seem to know what's in focus, I think.
Or maybe the eyes.
And what's movement or eyes or something like that. Now, I like things super centered, like, you know, exact, you know, perfect, symmetrical, whatever. And so sometimes it's slightly off to a side and I'm like, oh, I want that perfectly centered. But, you know, I go through every clip and I would say 30% of them, maybe I shift slightly, but it's not like, oh, this totally grabbed the wrong thing. This is like personal preference. I'd like it a little more to the right or something.
Yeah.
So,
and it takes very small amount of time.
Yeah. But you do need to it needs to be off your timeline where all the clips are individualized. If you just throw an exported film in there, it's only going to base it off of one frame, so it's going to be all over the place.
Yeah, but go check it out. It's a good video. So, and this next video is just a teaser, and then you're going to see what we made for the planner. And so this is what I want you guys to be thinking about is, how do I take the content I'm already making and make more money off of it? How do I create marketing that I don't have to pay for? So if you get this in the hands of a planner, this planner will take it and they'll love it. They're hungry and thirsty for content, and they will get you clients because they're the ones who get clients first before you. So keep that in mind. We got dress, we got church, the florals. Like we even try to get our coverage to feature the location. So that's this. And then this is, and I'll just kind of talk over this one because this is an interesting thing that we do, or at least interesting to me, maybe not to you, but this is just what we make for the planner. And so, Bobby, this video, we don't put music on it. We just took all the table details and all the room details and gave it to the planner.
I just want to be clear, the teaser that we just watched, sorry, how does that relate? Is that a complete...
Same wedding.
Same wedding.
Same content. One was for the planner, and in the middle of making that teaser, we're looking to make this.
Also do this. Yeah.
Yeah. So when we're making this teaser, we're going, what will the planner like? Mm-hmm. And then we throw this in with no music, and we send it over to them and say, oh, you'll do better on the algorithm anyway if you just use your own songs. And we just get this in the hands of them, and it's literally just details.
Yeah. It's their work featured.
Yes. And so it's an asset for them, and that's not hard to do. And so you can see kind of next to each other, like the different types of content that we're we're looking for. And some of it but like while you're doing the work, you're seeing all this stuff.
Yeah.
You might as well just have a separate little project going and planner. So anyone asking questions? Because I'm actually not paying any attention. Does anyone have any questions?
Let's see. Sometimes it takes a bit too zoomed in, so you have to resize it a bit. Yes, that is true, Alex. I don't actually know what does that. Kyle saying teaser roll is just be shareable content. That's fun to watch. no one's going to criticize teasers apart from the full films, and I think that's
I wish
true,
that was true
unless you
this year.
submit it to
I've had
us.
some people this year. So
You know, actually, well, yeah, that's a completely separate topic. And then Kyle also saying this stuff takes 15 minutes to do, and I agree, especially if you are working through the edit already, and like Jay said, you're kind of just, you know, whether you're using keywords or separate folders or whatever, just being like, planner, 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 and then at the end you're just like, combine, here you go.
And so this last one, the planner asked me, I could tell she was psyched, and she was like, can you do X, Y, and Z? And she had, even this planner will tell me shots she wants, things she wants. And she will come and pose and be in the thing. So like this is
cool.
a planner who gives me lots of work, probably 10 weddings a year, very high-end clients. So if she says jump, I say how high.
Yeah.
And it's ironically, I actually shot her wedding. At one
There
point.
you go.
So
There you
so
have it.
so this is a film I shot on Saturday and I delivered to her yesterday. So
So what's the turnaround? 5 days, something like that.
yeah, it could have been even sooner, but holiday. There's nothing special about this, by the way, guys, at all. Like, for me, I don't really, that looks fine to me, but I wouldn't put that in one of my films, but she wanted it. She asked me specifically for it. So it's like, sure, I'll give you that. The only thing I'll tell you is I always make sure to put some of the couple in so that I don't get heat from the couple to the planner.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
Yeah, there you go.
so that's that. We made that in 20 minutes for her.
Love it.
And she's going to keep referring me work and think I'm an awesome guy. And kind of like, that's just some stuff you guys can do. Like, maybe not every week, but basically every week you get into the habit of it and it just becomes second nature, and highly encourage
and it's
you
for
guys.
the important, I mean, you know, places or planner, you know, venues you want to work with again, planners you want to work for again. It's those relationships that you want to make, basically.
Yeah, you want to, I mean, I like to impress people. I don't know about you, Bobby. But
No, I hate impressing people.
I want to disappoint you. When you work with me, I want it to be super. I don't usually have to do anything to make it disappointing.
I'm
for
actually
people.
really into people not wanting to refer me because they hated working with
Well,
me
what's
so
funny
much.
is it isn't for everyone. I have a photographer friend. He is incredible. Like, my favorite person to shoot with, because he does like 45-minute portrait sessions, and he loves good light, and he's uncompromising. So we go get amazing work. Planners hate this guy. Because every time we shoot, I always look at the planners, and I sometimes will walk into them and be like, I don't know what's up with this guy. He just won't come back for the timeline. But like, planners don't like it because he doesn't care about their schedule. He doesn't care about what they want. He just wants
He's
good
doing
images. So for me, it's like, I'm happy with that. But I know that like some people don't care. And he's like, I know that they don't like it, but I'm not going to do it because I want to do what I want to do. And if that's you, that's fine. But if you're like, hey, I want an easy 20, 30% bump in prices, you got to get into that planner market. And the way to do it is to play that planner game.
All very interesting. I love hearing that. True Essence saying, do you charge for the teasers?
No.
I know,
For the teasers to the clients, often.
Yep.
Yeah, but to wedding planners,
they
no.
Are the same. I'm the same. Now, I'm not really doing this for planners, but I do charge for my teasers. They are included in some of my collections, but that's the teasers for the clients. I think Kyle's the same. Jay sounds the same as well. And so,
Yeah.
we,
I will say that we do make them free sometimes when it
Yeah, I
benefits
think-
me.
you know, I have a wedding right now, Jay, that Glacier National Park wedding, where I'm like, should I do a teaser? Just
Yeah, you
'cause, know,
should.
it gets out there more.
Show what you want to grow, bro.
Exactly.
Manifest
But
that
do
brand.
I want to keep traveling? I don't know.
Well, that's the question. I don't know, but I would
That's
say
the
like,
question I gotta answer.
and for us, like, we're so lucky because we live. That's both those weddings we showed are both Newport.
Yeah.
That's an hour from my
Which is-
house.
Yeah, right by.
So
you.
it's like, for me, it's like, yes, you want to come from New York City and get married in Newport, and you want to hire me? Yes, sir. I'll be there.
True Essence again with a question saying, do you do full day? Sorry, my eye itches. Do you do full day packages or only by the hour? I don't know actually what you do, Jay.
6 to 10 hours is what my contract says.
Okay.
Six
so mine
to-
are.
Basically,
I
I
do-
tell them, like, I'm going to cover the story. And, like, if I look at 8 hours, I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I just tell them I'm
So mine are full day coverage at my discretion, so they do
Same.
not set my schedule. I have only gotten burned by that, I would say, one time, and it was a couple weeks ago and burn by it, right? I don't know if that's the best way to put it, but
maybe not the best experience.
It was just like it was a very, very early start time, and it was a full day thing. It ended up being like a 16-hour day for me, which was pretty brutal. But there was like a weird break in the middle, so I went home and took a nap for like 2 hours. So because it was like right by my house, so it was like I
wish I could shoot a wedding like that close to my house.
But in general, that's the way I do it. But there's reasons for that.
I basically do it the same way. But yeah, I would recommend. Always have an hour's cap, but I would not sell by the hour. I think that makes that
I don't like.
That's going to very much limit the stories you can tell. Planners won't like it. No one will like it. It's a bad experience for people. But I also would say having like a limit is good for you because it keeps you from being taken advantage of. So like I think 10 hours is a great
finding that middle ground.
Like just tell them to me 8 hours is not enough time. I think 10 hours is perfect. I think anything above that, I charge them an hourly for anything above 10 hours, which almost never happens. So, like, literally almost never happens. So, hopefully that helps. All right, let's watch our next film. Who's our filmmaker?
Our next film, sorry, we got carried away, guys.
We just love wedding filmmaking. It's just our passion.
We just love, but kind of it is.
It is our passion.
Next wedding is coming from Alex Jackson, who's in chat. Happy Pairs Wedding Videography. UK. Wait, where's Alex based? I remember we watched another film of his.
I think he said he was like Italy, but he's trying to get people who are
Yeah,
European.
that sounds right. I think, was this the wedding last year where the comment was like trying to do more Western style weddings, and he was doing this slow pace thing, and we kind of got on him for that?
Yes.
I think that might have been Alex. All right. This is shot on the Canon FAR 5. R5.
The Canon FAR.
Yeah. Gimbal and handheld. He's got a funny story attached here. Client purchased just a feature length, not a highlight, which comes standard. However, as I got lost in my own editing world, I forgot and started work on the highlight. Once I'd finished, I checked my spreadsheet to see what they had ordered and noticed it was feature only. So I sent it to them. No charge. So, sometimes that happens. Put systems in place that'll help out. Let's see. Challenges. Color grading, for some reason, I just couldn't get the colors right. I think it looks okay. There also weren't many usable sound bites. I think there are questions in here for us too. How are you able to control how you get sound bites? Do you get the bridegroom to do pre-wedding interviews or even a post-wedding interview during the couple shots?
What do you think about that?
The film and then,
yeah, we'll watch the film. We'll watch the film and then we'll think about that.
Let's answer that and then we'll, yeah.
If there ever comes a day when we can't be together, keep me in your heart. I'll stay there forever.
Over the following years, our friendship has blossomed into the relationship we have today. And no matter whether that is piecing together a paper mache-sized mosquito outfit and trying to make it not fall off you, or whether that is you desperately and frantically learning how to make a gluten-free beef Wellington, which is a thing, or whether we're going diving around the Great Barrier Reef, every adventure we go on is not only fun, sometimes terrifying, but it means that every day I get to experience what a kind, intelligent, funny and courageous person you are over and over again. I am truly gifted at being able to marry my best friend. And I know this not just because of the amazing times that we have together, but by, most of all, from when the times where the seas are stormy. I've always been left in awe by your courage, your strength, resilience, and your boundless love. I have had a lot of ambition in my life. But if I am able to stand by and
I wonder if this is shot in C-Log.
even a fraction of the amount that you have stood by and supported me, then I will never feel more accomplished a man.
Okay. So there we
Cool.
go.
Well,
A nice little 3-minute film. So Bobby, why don't you
do we
give
wanna
me?
do these questions, or do we want to?
No, we'll do those at the end. We'll do it
Okay.
at the end because I think I can address them in my feedback.
Okay, gotcha. Well, do you want to start off then with some things that you liked?
Sure, I can start out. So why don't you start actually, so I don't have to change the stupid broken ATEM.
So yeah. So things I like, especially taking into consideration, like I don't know if you did this edit after the last one, right? But I think you did a better job with pacing. I personally think this film feels long to me. Like there was stuff that really didn't need to be included, but it sounded like they didn't actually buy.
Wasn't it only like 3 minutes though?
Yeah. But like, I think this could be like a really good teaser. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
But anyway, the pacing was better. You weren't like, there was like maybe one shot where I was like, oh, you kind of sat on that a long time. But it wasn't like, I just remember last time there were like specific shots where I was like, man, this is like a 30 second.
That was like a
sequence
30-second
like
shot of people sitting down.
Yeah. So like, I think good job, like kind of addressing that if that is the case. Again, and I think I said this last time too, you just have, I think this is a solo shot. I think you have really good coverage. Like there's lots of, maybe I don't understand, like maybe the weddings happen a little bit differently, but like, I feel like I'm always running around like crazy during like cocktail hour, and you seem to be getting footage. I like don't even usually get that. So yeah, I think that, and like you're definitely like trying to push creatively on some of the shooting too, which I like seeing. Like the shot that was just right there on screen. You have like a nice silhouette. You're using some nice lighting during bride prep and stuff like that. Rougher with groom prep, although you maybe didn't have that much options, but. So I think those are the things that I liked about this film.
So I'm gonna say the pace was much better.
Yeah.
And definitely, like I actually, what I was gonna say for my feedback was, you're like, oh, how do you get the sound bites? I didn't have good sound bites. I was like, I thought this was perfectly fine sound bites. I thought you did.
I thought they were fine.
I thought you included a lot of their story in a small amount of time, and I feel like if they were watching this, they would probably be like, oh, wow, that was a lot of sound bites. And they were good, and we liked them. Like, I did not hear that and think that was a weakness of the film. I thought it was actually one of the strengths of the films, is like, it's talking about, oh, we like the Great Barrier Reef. Oh, these people like to travel. I know that right away. And they got money because they can go go all the way down and, go to Australia and all this stuff. And I was just, I don't know. I felt like you represented the couple really well. That's the thing. And of course it was professional. Like it was professional coverage. Like I like that drone shot. Like I like the silhouette. Like,
I thought that was interesting.
There's a lot of there's a lot of stuff to like. I personally, I didn't think that the weaknesses he pointed out were the weaknesses. My criticisms are like throughout the film, there was just, I was telling him in the comments, like, this is exactly what I'm seeing. Someone shooting log without a conversion LUT. That's what this is. Like you cannot expose with your eyes. You can maybe use a histogram if you have a lot of experience. Maybe you can do it without a conversion LUT. But when I shoot log, I always have a monitor with my finishing LUT, like my finished look in it. So that way I know that I'm shooting the right way, because in my opinion, event coverage, like, yeah, you can use a histogram, but I really, really honestly feel like as a filmmaker, we're working off inspiration. And if you have to think about your image that much, you're probably going to waste a lot of time. So I just want to look at my monitor and be like, whoop, looks good. Keep going.
Yeah, I know this will look good when I bring it into my editor.
Yeah, and I'm looking at this going, he probably thought that was exposed in white balance, but it's actually too blue and it's overexposed. And I look at that and go, if he had a conversion LUT, and actually I always do a +2 contrast conversion LUT, Bobby.
Okay.
Because I want a freaking harsh image.
Yeah.
So like if I start pushing and pushing, I know like I'm gonna really screw up my image. And so like a plus like I want my monitor to just tell me with a quick look, is this white balance? Is it overexposed?
Yep.
And I feel like throughout your look, you just had all kinds of blown out highlights. Your white balances were all over the place. The skin tones were all over the place. The magentas were all over the place. And then some of that gimbal work, like that shot right there, that should be slowed down. That looks shoddy, way too fast. I feel like he's really strong at covering people and communicating who people are. And I just think when he can kind of get some of those like tricks of the trade down, I feel like it's going to really level up.
Yeah, it's like one of those things that I think is just going to kind of click. Like you said, if you start using the conversion LUT or whatever, and just like all of a sudden you're going to take a big leap forward when you kind of figure that stuff out. I think things for me to work on, again, the exposure was a big one that I wrote down kind of all over the place. Like that shot's blown out a little, that shot's a little blown out on your highlights and stuff like that. But that's it, it's in grand scheme of things, that's an easy fix, right? So that's nice. And then, the other thing I wrote down was like, there's a lot of movement in your shots. And I think that's not necessarily a bad thing automatically. But some of that movement is too fast. And it's just, there's just a lot of like, a lot of that movement is too fast or too like unintentional, I would say maybe. So some combination of that. So I think being intentional with those movements, getting the right speed for those movements, even if like you don't want to slow things down. Like I don't love slowing stuff down usually in my work that much. But I'm very slow moving with my gimbal movements. Like I'm not just running around like, without a plan.
I mean, the bottom line is the slower you are, the more smooth your gimbal move is going to be. And that's what's going to add time is like a jumpy gimbal move. So you can make it whatever speed you want in post, but you can't make it not jumpy.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, all that said, I think there's obviously room for improvement, but I think the conversion LUT thing, so I don't shoot log. So Jay obviously is speaking more.
I don't always shoot log, but I do in a lot of jobs. And whenever we do, everybody's like, we're all using Buttery, Master Collection, like Conversion LUTs, Rec 709. I'm perfectly fine to shoot log. And when I shoot log for like weddings, I never shoot log without conversion. That's what I will tell people. And no one
it's just dangerous.
No professionals do. Like if you're like wedding filmmakers often do, and I'm like, that's why your image sucks. It's like you're trying to do something wicked hard.
I think something that happens a lot, and I was, I fell victim to this for a little bit, like right when I got my A7S2 or something like that, or I don't remember what, some camera. And it was like, oh, well, if I want to be a pro, if I want to make good films, I need to shoot log. And it's like, no, you don't. Like, maybe try not shooting log. Like, are you really doing this extreme color grade? Like, I don't either. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with those who do and like, having that flexibility or do a really heavy grade or, whatever. Like, there's reasons for everything and I fully support, but don't do log just because you think you have to do log.
If you don't know what Rec 709 is and you don't know how to, like, what is your basis for your look, you maybe shouldn't be shooting log.
Yeah, like grow into that. Don't just do it because people told you to, because they're probably wrong.
Yeah, there's absolutely no reason.
And also, no client gives a shit. Like, honestly, they are never going to know.
And if you liked your image before and then you shot log because you somehow thought it gave you magic, like, and this is not a criticism, but I heard True Essence was saying, oh, try round tripping it to Final Cut. No, bump that noise. Don't do that. Like, you can do it, but like, to what benefit? Like, why? Why spend that much time color grading a wedding film?
That's why I stopped. I mean, A, I didn't like my grade as much because I probably didn't know what I was doing. And B, I was just like, I'm doing like it's not like a ton more work because you can just throw like a, conversion LUT on it and then also work from there. But like, I was like, I'm just doing like a lot more work.
It is a ton more
work. And like,
work.
It's not really any different.
I love color grading in Resolve. It's amazing. And by the way, if you like doing it and that's what you enjoy, then do that. You should do whatever you enjoy. 100%.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so to answer his other question, he said, do we get sound bites? I personally, I'm in the minority here. And I told you what my values are. Is like, my values are look beautiful, have beautiful looking films. If people say good stuff, we put it in.
You mean look beautiful like yourself? Like
I want to be a beautiful looking man at a wedding day. No, like have a beautiful looking film that captures the essence of the couple without words. And then we put in words if they're good, right?
Yeah.
We don't, I've done enough weddings to know the vast majority of people at weddings have nothing good to say.
Yeah.
And they're going to say the same crap, or it's super vapid, or it actually makes them look bad. I told you a story. Kyle was there.
An off-camera story.
An off-camera story of something a person said at a wedding the other day. And I'm like, this person if I put their audio, like, so you just can't count on it. And that's my point.
Yeah.
And so I do say this. When I'm in my consults, you probably do this too, Bobby. I talk to couples and I say like, hey, are you going to do letter reading? Or are you going to do, like, I talk them through what they want in their film. And if they say they want, like on Saturday, I did a private vows with the couple.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, this is going to be in the film. They wanted to do it. And it was freaking amazing and beautiful.
Yeah.
And it was really good. I don't try to make that happen though. And I think that's for me what it is like I ask them, I try to let them know. I let them know if there is special audio, I need to have special preparation to make sure I bring the right stuff to the right place. But I don't tell them what to say or what to do. The only thing I would give someone coaching on, I'm sure you do this too, if they say I want to do a letter reading, I say, hey, can you bring 2 copies so that you can read your side instead of their side? Because it sounds weird when the groom is like, I can't wait to have your babies or whatever.
We've talked about that.
But
and I do something similar. I think the way I would put it is I work within the constraints of the wedding day and what they want their wedding to be. I don't have control over sound bites, what's said. Now, I do give a tips sheet in advance.
That's smart.
And one of those things is kind of like, hey, if you're giving somebody the microphone to give a speech at your reception, here's some tips. One of them is, to maybe tell them a time range to shoot for. 5 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever you want that to be. Because I've had people talk for 30 minutes. And another thing is like, hey, make sure to, it's okay if they want to roast you, but if you want to, if you're worried about somebody and say, hey, could you at least say something nice to, do that. That's fine. And then similar to you, Jay, in a questionnaire that I send out about a month before, I ask if they're writing vows or letters to each other. And if they are, do they want audio of that? Because I do have people who want to read their letters privately and they don't want to read it out loud. But if they are down to read it, like you, I do have them read it in advance. I actually have a couple this weekend that's writing, they have a time in their timeline for private vows.
Oh yeah, and that's a big thing, Bobby, is if there is something like that, you need to communicate with the photographer and the planner that this is in their timeline and make sure it gets in the timeline, because otherwise it screws it
you
up.
Want it. Yep. So yeah, for them, I was like, hey, I noticed that you wrote private vows. Do you want that in your film? And it's not like I am beholden to use it. If they're bad, they're bad. But do you want that captured, I guess is what I would say. And so I will probably use it, it
would have to be pretty darn bad.
Yeah, exactly. But I do want that flexibility. And they said, yeah. I mean, we meant private, we don't want to read it in front of 200 guests. And I'm totally on board. So what we're going to do, obviously I'm going to capture it when they read it to each other, but I am going to record a safety track. That's about the most that I, force myself into that process in saying, hey, during prep, I'm going to take you to a quiet room. I'm just going to have you read those vows for me, just because who knows where we're going to have you read those vows. What if it looks really good, but there's crazy, noise going, there's people walking, I don't know, whatever, right? So I want that safety track. That's about all I do as far as.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, people need to remember we are in the event coverage industry first and foremost.
Yep.
Everyone in my office knows the thing I will lose my mind about is when they have gaps in coverage during speeches and ceremonies.
Yep.
I will never lose my mind. Where's the vows? I mean, if you didn't capture the vows, I mean, the vows weren't good. We can't put them in the film. That's the part we can't control. First and foremost.
Yeah, you can't control the content.
Unbroken coverage of an event is our first and foremost job as wedding filmmakers. All the perfume commercial stuff is bonus.
Yep.
So, all right. Next film, Bobby.
Let's do it. Our final film of the day, coming from the one and only Kyle Smith.
Oh, I wanted to say something about this while we're looking at Kyle. If you like this film, Kyle's on the podcast next, 87 and Smith. We're talking about just, wedding filmmaking, kind of his rise and kind of going from his own, not having a business in 2019 starting a business to now operating a really amazing business. So if you're kind of wanting to just explore that journey that someone had, I think you're going to like the episode.
Yeah. So check that out. Coming out when? Soon?
Not out today
yet,
or tomorrow,
right?
Actually.
Oh,
I just got to finish it. So.
Cool. So Kyle Smith coming in with, let's see, film both the rehearsal and the wedding and the after party. Long weekend. 2 shooters on A7S3s, handheld and gimbal. Wedding was super hot outside and fear of overheating, but everything was fine. Special singer-songwriter from The Voice performed, which was fun. Couple is very energetic, which I leaned into, as you'll see in the intro. Happy with how everything came together.
All right, let's rock and roll. Garbage.
This is a car commercial.
He
Truck
stinks.
commercial.
Uncle Mike
Red
and Kathy,
convertible
I know you're going to
commercial.
throw a banger tomorrow, so thank you.
If you didn't take your
Oh,
shot
look at
yet,
that guy.
raise your shot, raise your drink. Let's get this party started. Cheers to the Wagners, This is cute.
My focus today is on two great kids who are getting ready to enter the best days of their lives.
We're getting married. Can you believe it?
So this is that we all probably knew that they would stay together forever. On the
She might be
long
too
walk,
close to the mic
midnight
there.
calls, the some tears, the some.
What is up with people doing
We knew
that?
that they were always going.
I want to
be
know how you
together.
got that audio, Kyle. Small text, I love it.
You know you're in love when you can't fall asleep because reality is finally better than your dreams.
We can make jokes all day with or about them, but we often look over how they are both the most kind, generous, thoughtful, and lovable couple a best friend could ask for. Cue the tears. If you ever need someone to talk to, Molly is always there to pick up with a quick Brendan in the background. Whoa, Paige again?
Love is not breathless. It is not excitement. It is not the promulgation of promises of eternal passion. That's just what being in love is. Those that truly love have roots that grow toward each other underground. And when all the pretty blossoms have fallen off their branches, they find that they are one tree, not two.
Take a minute to look out over this crowd of those you love and those that love you. For each of us that join in this in marriage, these are our people. These are the people that have made you who you are as individuals. These are the same people who will make you and support you as a married couple.
Wow, that looks so pretty. Holy moly.
So these two genuinely had a respect for each other and their independence and their growth and their ability to come together and love and forgive and celebrate and rejoice in the things that they had gone through this whole journey together. You make me so proud. You have grown up to be such a wonderful young man. And Molly, thank you for helping my son become that wonderful man.
May the waves rise to meet you. May the winds be slightly offshore. May the sun shine warmly on your face. And may you always have each other's backs. Salute.
I love you both and can't wait to see the life you build together. So if everyone could raise a glass. Cheers to Wagners!
So, Bobby, I got a lot to say about that. What do you...
Ooh, I like that.
What's your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, okay, so a few things I loved. Your transition from this party intro. Well, first of all, I love that guy walking by mid-speech with the beers.
Or that they were like, yeah, we're the type of people that like high noons.
Yeah. But I really, really love that transition that you did from kind of this party intro. It was that audio, like underwater. And I just love the intro in general. I really love that transition. I love the use of found footage. I think that's, or, found footage, whatever. I always think that's unique and fun and cool.
I think you did it in a good way.
Exactly, when used the right way. It's a very well put together edit. It is very clear that you are very conscious of what you're working with. You worked around what I imagine are some challenges probably too. And I think that you just captured the couple very well. Like, you kind of set it in there. You were like, this was like a party crew. I wanted to reflect that at points in the film. And I think that's an important part. Like, I think it's easy as an editor or wedding filmmaker or whatever to get carried away and to say, oh, they were super up, they were crazy party. Like, the whole film has to be about the party. But you managed to like do that and capture them, and obviously capture them in the shooting the way that they are and who they are and represent that, while still maybe creating something that's more in tune with what you normally do. And still like a very solid, well put together film that is about them and their day and not just like the party. Yeah, those are things that I loved about the film.
Kyle kind of shines when he's kind of in that 35 millimeter zone, right? And also that super intimate. And I felt like the portrait work in this episode in this and the handheld work throughout this are very good. Like, he's a very good handheld shooter. He gets the
very good at getting that like raw emotion with that movement. Adding that like puts it a little bit over the top, I would say.
Yeah, whatever it is, said like 24-70 or whatever that focal length is. Maybe it's like that 135 look. But there's a lot of like beautiful handheld portrait work. I'm a big fan of the grain actually on the film.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just think like it's hard to do that well. I like that whenever he's showing people like right there of the three of them, it's very wide.
Mm-hmm.
It's not overly close, and a lot of times not too much motion when he's allowing people to like be reacting and connecting. But then when he's like wanting to walk with them and kind of enhance just something boring like hand holding, like he's moving. And I felt like there was just throughout the film, like that shot's beautiful. There's a lot of just, I also think Kyle does like really well in a lot of his films when he's focused on women's fashion and in fashion in general, when he's connecting with something that he's passionate about and that they're passionate about. And that comes across in the film as well. Yeah, I mean, you'll see it throughout the film. And couples love that stuff. And obviously she loved this stuff. I don't like that shot. I love that one though. I remember thinking like a shot I don't like and a shot I like right next to each other. So I just felt like they're going to watch this and go, you got it. You got all the points. And I think your next client's going to watch this and say, that's how I want to be portrayed. And I think that's great. I think it's a very solid film. So why don't I start with the stuff that I didn't love about the film? First of all, this overexposure in the first look, hate that. And I also don't like the focal length he chose for that first look. I wish it was a little more compressed, at least for that main shot. Maybe the second shooter chose that. The other thing is I have very mixed feelings about the intro.
Really?
Yes, because I felt like the footage he didn't have enough cuts. I felt like he should have, it wasn't the edit was too slow for the music. It should have been
I
like, ba,
could
ba, ba, ba,
see
ba, and it was
that.
kind of like, meh, and it was like just normal dance floor footage over a
Well,
super hype.
I think one other thing, I think that's actually a good point. I think one other thing is that that little intro, the only thing that these shots included were reception.
Well, that's what I was about to
dance
say.
floor, basically.
It should have been crazy, faster cut, but then also, like, for instance, at the end, there's a pizza shot. I don't want to see that pizza shot over that song. I want to see the pizza shot here. Show me that dirty pizza right now. Show me them jumping in that goofy thing. Give me more crazy. Give me a tighter, like get in that dance floor. Like everything's kind of out, kind of aloof. And I wanted to feel like there's a little bit of pizza there, but much more mosh pitty. And the other thing about
pizza.
The other thing about it is I think you could have done some like other types of footage in there. A little bit of sexy portrait work, a few gimbal like drone pushes, like more of like a summary of the day with a focus on being crazy and hype.
I think that's a good point, and that's something that I would get.
But I like this
too.
sequence when the music
next
went
we're
down.
Talking about Kyle.
When the music,
I love
this
that
was a really
transition
great
into
way.
this.
The other thing I'll say
I
is,
just love the way that's shot too.
When you're doing the 3-day weddings, I know this is a challenge, and so I'm very empathetic. I felt like, as much as I liked this found footage sequence, I felt like it was like 3 intros. It was like hype intro, found footage intro, weird rehearsal intro, and then the film started.
Yeah, we've seen that before. I think sometimes I get on people's cases, and so I think sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I personally felt like it was okay here.
I think I would have just started the film. I think I would have just started the film after the found footage. I don't think I would have used this rehearsal dinner as like its own section. I would have tried to interweave it throughout. I don't know. I understand it's a very tough judgment call, by the way. But after I was watching it, I was thinking like, all right, get to it,
Yeah.
And then we got to the film, and I felt like it picked up a lot. And I was like, that's what it was. That's what felt a little off to me. It was the rehearsal dinner section, and those are always super hard. And the last thing I'll say is, I wish that he would fix his whites because they're too blue.
I have that written down too. At certain
but
parts.
Anyway, moving on. Great film. I know I ripped on that, but it's like he's a great filmmaker.
That's what we do. So a couple of things that I wrote down. So I agree with you, Jay. That intro, while I did love it, I think implementing some stuff that isn't just the reception dance floor would be. I actually think it's just not only is it better for the film, but it's also better for you. Like, it's going to engage people more. It's going to show off more of your dance floor stuff is fun and good, but it's not like particularly like amazing footage, right? So like sprinkle in some of your like you're a very good shooter and you get this super raw emotion with your portrait stuff and I don't know, the venue and whatever.
There was a good amount of sex appeal. I think that could be like, he played it in the slow way in his edit, but you could also play that in this setting.
And then my 2 other things, I also picked up on your whites being pretty blue, specifically in this field sequence, not the one that we're watching right now. But it's like maybe a minute into the film or something. It's like right after that rehearsal dinner stuff, I think.
Yeah,
it looks like it was shot at like, exactly, blue hour. And so obviously that plays a role in that, but I think you could have warmed that up or exposed it a little brighter maybe. I don't know exactly. And I have a hard time judging perfection as far as
you are
goes
correct
through the Zoom thing, but and then the last thing is kind of getting back to this, like you use music very well, I feel like a lot of times, but there was something at the end here, and it's specifically when we're seeing it's the end of the film and it's the uptick and we're seeing dancing footage. Is that this, or this is still the
no, this is the
I
end.
don't know what I'm looking at. This is the end. Okay. It doesn't feel like it doesn't match for me. There's something there. I don't know exactly what it is, where it just didn't like, I don't know. Like I talk about like the payoff, right? Where I almost wanted like, I don't think the music was like hype enough for the footage and the cuts you were showing.
I just think that like the dance floor, not because of you, but there's a lot of this dance floor, and to me it wasn't that great of a dance floor.
Yeah, I like that stuff. I think that's
no, that was great. But
know.
I mean, this was just like run of the mill dance floor to me.
Yeah, I like it seemed forced, is maybe what I would say. And
But-
I think I like, you got to add a little bit in there, but I would have focused more on like even more like portrait or something. I like the bounce house. I like the pizza's fun. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. I so in watching the footage a few times, by the way,
yeah,
I know why he thinks it's great looking, because in reality, like, there are people throwing beers and water shooting everywhere,
Yeah.
like right there, but you
Yeah.
can't really see it
Mm.
in the coverage. And I'm wondering if he could have shot this a little differently, including this crazy stuff, but also some wide stuff, so you could get a better sense of the action.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's what it is for me, is like, I know that it's crazy, but it's hard to really understand how crazy when you're watching the footage. Like,
Yeah.
it just looks like kind of really blue dance floor footage.
Mm.
And
Now, to be clear, guys, like when we get a really good film, which this obviously is, I think our critiques may sound like we talk a lot more on critiques, and I think that's because it's harder to dive into those, because they're not quick fixes. They're more theoretical. They're more
well, it's all about
philosophical.
like, how did you cover it? What were you trying to portray? Like,
it's not like, your exposure was off.
and for us, being right is not really a point, because it's not about being right here. It's about like, what were you trying to communicate for your brand?
Yeah.
Who are you? And we might not be right. That for Kyle, he might be like, nope, exactly what I wanted, and we're wrong.
Yep.
And that's cool.
Very possible.
That's kind of how it works when you're at that level. When we're working with films where people who are maybe less experienced, it's like kind of like non-debatable.
More surface level.
Like,
Because it's like you're so far off from getting into those deeper questions because you have other things to fix first at that stage.
100%.
Which is totally fine. We're all there at some point. So
that was a lot
but
of
very
fun,
good
Bobby.
film, and you can check Kyle on our podcast. He is the guest podcastee.
The next
In our
episode.
next episode coming out today, tomorrow, something like that.
Yes. Hopefully I get to it. I got a
Uh,
wedding tomorrow, wedding Saturday, so
Maybe today, tomorrow, maybe not.
maybe Monday. We'll see.
Sometime. He will be
Sometime
on
in the next 4 to 5 days.
Yeah. Well, cool, guys. Thanks so much for joining. Also, make sure you watch after the first film. We if you missed it, we talked about vertical edits, this process that Jay does that is just ramping up his business, getting him lots of referrals, and I think it's very interesting. Something people should be doing more. So make sure you go check that out. We spent a section on that instead of doing a fourth film. Thanks to everybody for being here, for tuning in. We will see you guys next week at the same time, 1 p.m. Eastern. If you want your film reviewed, click the link at the top of the chat. Submit it right now. You can submit starting right now, and we will put you in the queue for review next week. And if you want a higher chance of getting reviewed, consider becoming a member. Hit that join button. Make sure you're
Appreciate
subscribed.
all our
Leave
members,
us a
by the
like.
way. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Thank you to our members. Thank you to everybody who shows up consistently. We love that consistency. And for everybody sharing your thoughts and whatnot, too. We appreciate that. So, anything else, Jay?
No, we'll see you guys soon. Definitely, if you haven't subscribed, go check out the Wedding Film School Show, our new YouTube channel, which is exclusive
Podcast
episodes
channel.
for our podcast. All right,
Goodbye.
guys. Have a great day.